Good evening. Tonight, well, just in case you didn't know, Cheryl and I just got off of the Wonder of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship.
About a week ago.
About a week ago. Yeah. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
We figured since it was our first time on the ship that we would do a review, basically pros and cons, what we liked, what we didn't like, and that way, if you haven't been on it yet, you can kind of hopefully get a feel for the ship.
Yes.
So. We're going to start with the pros, the things we really liked about it. These are in no particular order. They just kind of how they popped into our minds. So, you want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay.
As usual.
Yeah. Pro is...
That's the pros. That's
yes,
we're doing.
It's great live music.
Personally, I thought that it was the live music was as good, if not better, than any we've seen. We had every night there was 4 bands. 3, 4, there was a piano player in the Schooner Bar. There was a guitarist in the Cask and Clipper. There was the temperature band in what used to be called Razzles, which is now on this ship called...
I can't remember.
Music Hall, I believe. And there were several others throughout the ship, almost pretty much every day.
Yeah.
But really good quality. They played lots of things we liked. So
it was great live music.
MDR was really good. Main dining room. We always enjoy the main dining room on Royal Caribbean ships. We find that the food is good. I won't say it's great, but I think it's good. There's pretty much every night there was something that we enjoyed. The staff was amazing. Omar and Luba and Melvin. The wait staff was very knowledgeable, very friendly. We had a table for 6, which our group was 6. So we sat just with us. We were up against a window, got to see the water every night. I thought, so I like the MDR. What do you think about the MDR?
I enjoyed it very much. So moving on. The ship was clean and well maintained. We didn't find any issues.
No, honestly, I would have been shocked if there were, considering the ship's only, 4, maybe 5 years old.
Yeah, but it's not even the ship that you have to worry about. It's the people that are on it that make a mess. Yeah. So just...
The staff was on top of things.
Yes.
They really were, as far as, getting rid of empty cups and mugs and plates that people leave lying around wherever they feel like.
We actually had a lot of inclement weather. We had a lot of rain. Yes. And on the pool deck, because it's open, and they were there cleaning the floors rather regularly,
constantly,
making sure that they had slippery when wet signs out, things of that nature. So yes, it was clean and well maintained.
The bartenders, the wait staff, they were good. I have no complaints about them. I did not find any single outstanding member of the staff, but they were all
attentive.
Yeah, they were attentive. We never felt like we waited for drinks. They were knowledgeable. I asked them for a couple of drinks I wanted to try throughout the cruise that I'd never had before, like a Manhattan.
Like water?
Yeah, well, I have water every now and then. But they were all good. They were all knowledgeable. They made it easy to relax and have fun.
Yes. The cruise director, Ricky, was funny and energetic and present. Although I feel like we were spoiled on the Carnival cruise.
Yes.
With the cruise director being front and center in a lot of the activities. Ricky was too.
Throughout the ship. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Ricky was too, but it just seemed like it was a little bit...
not as present.
Yeah.
We kind of found that the Carnival cruise directors seemed to be more... they seem to be everywhere. Mm-hmm. Whereas on Royal ships, while Ricky was good, he was funny when we saw him, but they seemed to be only...
But his outfits were on point.
Oh my God, his outfits were hysterical.
He was so well dressed.
He was fun.
He was fun.
The Crazy Quest show. If you've ever been on a cruise Royal ship, you know what we're talking about. It was, as usual, one of the highlights of the trip.
Actually, we'll get back to that one, but not that part. But anyway, if you've been to the Crazy Quest show before, don't ruin it for others. Don't be prepared. It's all fun and games, really.
If you're going on a Royal ship and you haven't seen the Crazy Quest show, make it a point to get there. Get there a half hour early if you have to, but get there.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Yes.
Because people go crazy.
Yes, they do.
And then it's adult only.
Yes. And there's a reason for that.
Yes, it's a very big reason for that.
Yeah.
But yes, Love and Marriage Game was decent. We tried to get on it, but
well, it was just the Love and Marriage Game show. If you haven't seen it, it's basically it's only as funny as the three couples that participate. And while the three that were up there were funny, they weren't as good as some other ones that we've seen. So definitely worth the time.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like we wasted our time,
but if it's a rainy day and you have nothing else to do, and go check it out. It's fun, engaging. That's what it is. Yes, fun and engaging. Pizza was good and plentiful, especially at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes.
Enough said with that.
The Boardwalk Hot Dog House, Boardwalk, whatever that's called. That was, I must have eaten there 5 days out of the 7. They've got a bratwurst with cheese in it, and they had an everything bun. It was delicious.
I like the everything bun as well.
In the Cask and Clipper, which, that's what they're calling the English pub on the Wonder, they had a guitarist. He was, I don't know if he was British or if he was Irish.
Or English. English, I think he's English.
British and English is basically
I know the same thing, but whatever.
I swear to God, he looked like he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
But he was talented and engaging and
overall enjoyable,
interactive with the customers. We saw him a couple times. Definitely worth it.
The ice show was pretty amazing for how small the arena, I guess you want to call it, or the studio in which they do it in. But it was very enjoyable. I suggest going to an ice show. Just bring a winter coat with you.
That was probably one of the only times the whole week I wasn't warm, was when we were in the ice show.
I was freezing all week, but whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Our room steward, Darius, was good, kept the room clean, had an issue where we both managed to forget our CPAS cards in the room. Luckily, he was only about 4 doors down, and he came and unlocked the door for me.
I do have to say, I only did it once. Somebody else did it twice.
True. Downside was we only got towel animals twice during the week. Was it 3?
Yeah,
okay.
3.
I'm just used to them being there pretty much every night. Now, I didn't go and specifically say, Darius, please give us towel animals every night. But
we also don't know the amount of rooms that he had to maintain and take care of. So
that was a little bit of a unhappy thing, but who cares? You know what I mean? Arguably, he kept the room clean. It was always neat, ready for us when we needed it to be. He was attentive. I would be very happy if we got him again.
I actually went back to the room one night because I wasn't feeling well, and he came in. I kind of startled him, which was pretty funny. But he was like, and I said, nope, dude, so what you got to do? And he was very respectful. So props to Darius. Moving on. The comedians were rather funny.
Yes.
And
we saw them twice.
Especially in the adult show.
Yeah.
Well, they were both adult shows.
Actually, we didn't see.
We didn't see the.
We only saw the one was 11:30.
Yeah, one was 11:30, and the next night was
the final night was
10:30. 10:30.
10:30.
But they were pretty funny. I liked her because she laughed at her own jokes.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
Jim was funny.
Yes,
he was funny.
Yeah, he was.
Not eccentric or anything else like that, but he kept it going, and he picked on the crowd.
Yes.
Which, if you're sitting in the front row, game on. No pun intended.
There was in the final night show in the Royal Theater, there was one woman literally sitting in the front row who was on her phone.
20-year-old girl.
Yeah, and he called her out for it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was extremely funny. And she took it well. She didn't get all upset about it.
No, but it was fun. I definitely could do those shows again.
Areas of the ship. It's a typical Oasis class ship, just larger. You got your Central Park, which I think they did a really good job with.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Boardwalk was cool. Mm-hmm. I don't remember all the other neighborhoods. The Promenade, I thought the Promenade was beautiful.
It was crowded a lot.
It was crowded, yeah.
Well, you're on a ship with how many people? How many
6,000
people? And it's to be expected. Mm-hmm. But again, it was a fun trip.
Yep.
Yes.
Cons, there's not a whole lot here because overall we had an amazing time,
Yes.
but a couple things we did want to mention just so that you're prepared if you decide to book the Wonder.
I'm going to preface the con part out. I forget what I was going to say, but anyway.
Okay.
Oh, yes. When it's time to book the shows on the app,
oh my God,
you really have to stay on top of that.
The day those shows become available, book them.
Yep.
Because I know mine, but I think our biggest complaint was
pet peeve.
Pet peeve. Yeah. The show sold out too quickly. Like, we booked a couple of things throughout the week. The day it came out, some of the friends that we went with, they tried to do it the next day, and several of the shows were already sold out.
So we basically, canceled the shows that we had made reservations for, which was not an issue, and we were able to rebook them. The downside to that is, for example, the Attic, where the comedy shows were, we ended up going to the 11:30 show, and there were still plenty of seats in there. So if you're not going to make it to the show, release your seat, so to speak, so that other people can enjoy it. They do check your phone to make sure that you have the reservation. And just,
Now, if there are, the next pet peeve is some of the venues that they use for some of the activities like trivia, they're too small. They're too small. Like, they had a trivia game scheduled for Boleros, and we got there a half hour early, and there was no seating already. Not even at the bar, nowhere. Even the karaoke room where a lot of the trivia was, if you didn't get there a half hour early, you weren't getting a seat. So
now, the only positive part to that is they can't have it in the big.
No, I understand. There's a lot of activities going on,
but they can't have it in the big theaters because then it's just going to be a poop show.
And it'll be half empty.
But you really don't want to have to be there an hour early to do trivia.
Right.
Because
that cuts into whatever you were doing before.
Yes.
So it's kind of almost a catch-22.
Yes. All right. So moving on.
Excuse me. The popcorn. They always have popcorn outside of the Studio B, the ice rink and the Attic, that area. Well, and this, from what I understand, this is not new. It just shows it's been a couple of years since I've been on Royal. The last time we were on Royal, which was right before COVID, like 3 months before COVID, that popcorn was free. Now it's $4, and that annoyed me. I'll be quite honest with you. Yeah, it's a first world problem. I get it, but you're spending thousands of dollars to be on this ship. We spent another $1,000 each on the drink package, and they can't give us a $4 popcorn. I was annoyed at that.
I agree with that. My time dining. It sounds like.
And I don't usually curse on this, but
it was a poop show.
A shit show. Poop show. I'm sorry, a poop show. God. So we had 5 o'clock. We had the early dining. We had the 5 o'clock dining. On deck 4.
Yep.
Yeah, deck 4. So the main dining room is 3, 4, 5 on the Wonder. We were on 4, which is also where the main maitre d' stand is. So that's where my time dining people lined up. Whenever we came out of our 5 o'clock dining, it was somewhere between like 6:15 and 6:30, 6:45. There was 2 lines for my time dining. The line on my left as we were coming out was for people who had my time dining reservations. The line on the right was for people who just showed up and said, we want to eat. Both of those lines went all the way out of the main dining room, through the hallway, and almost to the casino.
Yes.
Both of them. And I would hear throughout and this was every night. This wasn't just night one.
No.
This was every night. And I heard people complain throughout the week that they've been waiting in line for an hour and a half. So I don't know if it was just poorly executed on our sailing, or if there was some problem with the reservation. I don't know what the problem was, but to me, that's just one more reason to get the early seating or the late seating if you can, and not do the my time dining. But that's our opinion. We like having the regular seating.
Yes. Wow.
Long-winded much? Yes.
Yeah. Really? Wow. I think that was just as long as a cruise was.
Wow.
Anyway. Oh,
jeez.
People
this is
have
a constant.
Zero elevator etiquette.
Yeah.
how do I go on about this? I could go on for days. If there's a person in the elevator with a scooter and they need to back up, people just wait until they get off the.
When the elevator doors open, don't walk in.
No.
Wait for people to come out, whether they're scooters or walking. I mean, I had a 4 foot nothing 70-year-old woman literally walk into me because she saw the elevator doors open. I hadn't even stepped out yet. It was a crowded elevator and I was standing at the door. She had her head down. She saw the elevator open and walked right into me. Come on, people.
Just stop.
Better.
Okay.
Anyway, Windjammer.
Actually, you really don't think there was enough
seating?
There
was not anywhere near enough seating in the Windjammer.
All right, so the tough thing with that is you're on a ship with all these people, and a lot of them were families. And you had a lot of kids. And this, that, and everything. We didn't really walk around a lot.
To me, the Windjammer had the smallest seating area of any royal ship I've been on.
Okay.
Including the Adventure of the Seas, including some of the smaller ships. It just, I don't know, maybe it actually wasn't. It just seemed much smaller.
Or the other thing, too, is that people could have been taking up many more seats than they should have been taking.
I don't
like, I'm going to put my bag in a chair, But anyway.
Aqua Show.
Only had one show.
Due to the weather.
Thank you.
Wasn't, it was windy every day. It rained.
It rained all but 2 days.
Right.
And those were the 2 days we were coming back to the U.S.
Right.
And it was cold. To me, it was cold. Anyway. The Royal app is a royal pain in my app.
Yes. It's not user-friendly.
It really isn't.
It crashed every day, at least once a day.
We'd get messages an hour or 2 hours later.
Yeah, we'd be literally sitting next to each other just to test it. And I would send a text message to Cheryl through the app, and we could literally sit there for 20 minutes before she would receive it.
I was ignoring it.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
There's no search functionality at all. No. You got to literally scan through every activity to find what you wanted. There's no ability to add personal appointments. Like, if we have an appointment for 3 p.m. at that next cruise.
Well, you had to put it in your calendar, but then you had to go back and forth.
Right.
Like toggle back and forth.
Put it in the app calendar.
Like, for example, I know when Doug sent a couple of messages, I could see it pop up on my, like a text message coming through, and then I go to read it and it's not there. Overall frustrating.
Yes. Yeah. And we did all of these cons and all of the pros were related to Royal Caribbean through the post-cruise survey.
Yes.
But we're just trying to give you all a heads up.
Yeah. So. When announced, and I think this is on every ship.
Yes.
Because they have the ability to turn on the speaker in the quarters, your quarters. And a lot of times unless it's an emergency, they do not use it. But if you're in the shower and you hear the little ping, 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 you're like, what are they saying? You can't hear them because it's out in the hallway and not in your room. I'm
not even talking about that. I'm talking about when we were in any of the common areas, the promenade, the pool deck.
I agree with that.
You would hear, no idea what they were saying, no idea what they were talking about.
Okay. So yes.
We already talked about this one. We didn't receive towel animals daily.
Whatever. But Darius, #Darius.
Anyway, so that's our kind of our list of pros and cons. Now we're just going to finish it up with kind of an overall.
I do actually have to put something in there.
Too late. We finished.
No, we didn't.
We finished. We're
done. It's never too late.
And I know
on the pool deck, there are the doors going in and out of the ship, and there's a child playing in said doorways. If that child got hurt, it technically should be the responsibility of the parent because they were not keeping an eye on.
Yeah, the mother was nowhere to be found.
No, the mother was sitting right there, but she was too busy talking. However, people just watch your kids. I mean, it's just stop. That's on every ship we've been on. Kids are unruly.
Yeah,
but for the most part,
unfortunately, there are some parents who, when they go, they take their family on vacation. They think that means they don't have to parent that child anymore.
But for the most part, the children that we did,
there were several that were very, very, very pleasant
good. We met
and well behaved.
Met a young girl who tried to teach me a trick. I just did not get it. But yeah, it's just.
Our overall thoughts on the ship.
It was big, crowded, and a beautiful ship. Lots to see, lots to do. Shows were good. it was almost too big for us. So we're going to wait a couple of years for the Icon.
Well, not a couple of years, probably a year,
A
but
couple of years.
probably going to wait until Star comes out, and then hopefully the prices for Icon will come down a little bit, and then I want to check out Icon. I really do.
I would definitely
There's a lot of changes.
I would do Wonder again.
I would do Wonder again with the right itinerary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Is that it?
So, yes, that's pretty much it. Check out this video that we did on the actual itinerary that we did on the Wonder and where we went and what we did and what we saw. That will give you a lot more detail about each of the destinations and what occurred each day. So you can get as much detail on our cruise experiences as you would like.
Yes. Thank you.